Oh, wait, no. Let's go not live, because I've accidentally... Howdy, everyone. Golly.
My cat's rubbing his face and mouth.
Hi, cat. Oh, jeez. Let me get the chat up on my phone, because this game takes up most of the screen. Alright, is anyone here who worked on the game? Because I invited a bunch of you, so let yourself be seen. Yes, we have with us Brian. Say hi, Brian.
Hello!
And we have Celia, who voiced Monica in our Doki Doki video, so I figured she's good for the dating sim streams. Also, the only person I know who actually wants to diddle these old men.
I mean,
because that's exactly how I would describe it. Thank you.
Uncle Stan does put the fuck in no refucks.
Hello, everyone. Alright, so yeah, we're going to be starting at 8, and we're going to be going until when, Brian?
10:20 at the latest, because I gotta go see...
Well, so wait, Alex's stream is at 10, you said?
I believe so, 7 Pacific Standard Time, so...
So 10? Okay, so we'll be done before 10, then.
Okay.
Alright, guys. Let's do it.
I'm ready.
Alright, you want to read the main character, Celia?
Oh, this is me? Okay. Ah, good old road trips, full of promise and ripe with potential for adventure. Oh, or at least that's what you thought before the novelty wore thin. As of now, your legs are cramping up, you've exhausted 2 times over, and your stomach is begging for something to eat. On top of all that, you're pretty sure you're lost. Driving through Oregon paints a picture of trees and more trees, especially on the endless winding roads you're taking up north. All that breaks the pattern is a sign that zips past with words that are just able to make out. Gravity Falls.
If you want us to dub MLP again, watch the video I just posted, and there's details on how you can request that there.
No, the downside is I won't be able to play Fluttershy.
You won't? You're not available during those day streams?
Yeah, I'm gonna be in Martha's Vineyard for 2 weeks.
Oh.
For work. And I'm gonna be staying in a hotel.
Alright, well, keep reading, Celia.
The road continues on, giant redwoods looming on both sides. You find yourself anticipating something, because as you drive on, you can feel it. Something strange is bound to happen here.
Keep, one added.
Something weird.
Like those words being added.
And that's when it happens. Your car picks up speed. The change comes out of nowhere, and you quickly put your foot on the brakes, but horrifyingly, the car seems to be driving of its own willpower. Trying to stay calm despite the panic welling in your chest, you pull the emergency brake, only to find that the car resists and keeps moving forward, like something is pulling it. The car begins to rattle, the wheels screech against the country road, and you're screaming until... crash! There's smoke. Why is there smoke? You cough, fumble to the door, and manage to undo the lock just before the door is wrenched outward from your grasp. Something lands on your shoulder.
It's me!
It's a hand.
It's a Stan. Who are we assuming this is? Stan? Go for it, Brian.
Are you alright?
Nope. Incorrect guess.
A man stands at your open car door. His hand on your shoulder leaves to tilt your head up. And he pulls a flashlight from his coat, shining it in your eyes. 2 blinks and he lets your chin go. His eyes dart over the rest of you, looking for injuries. Still stunned, all you can do is watch.
What's your name? Regular person.
Yeah, I'm a regular person.
Are we allowed to write swears?
Pronoun, Celia?
Well, my preferred pronouns are she and her.
Irregular Celia. I'm Stanford Pines. Ford for short. I would shake your hand, but you look shaken up enough as it is. You seem fine as far as I can tell, but you shouldn't head back out there anytime soon. Where on earth were you driving in such a hurry?
You open your mouth to explain when a voice calls from inside the house.
Poindexter! This better not be one of your experiments again! I've had this place rebuilt too many times to...
The owner of the voice walks out of the house and stops slack-jawed at the side of your car and the side of, you're guessing, his house. You must have hit your head earlier, because you could swear you're seeing double. See what you did there.
Sweet Moses, Ford! What have you done this time?
What? This had nothing to do with me. I was testing my magnet gun and... it must have pulled this victim of circumstance into this house. I suppose it is entirely my fault. I'm incredibly sorry.
Cry!
Well, we're letting Celia pick.
Oh.
Can I reassure Ford, please? Crying would have been fun, too. Unsure of why you're reassuring the mystery man who wrecked your car, you give an awkward shrug. It's alright?
No, I must have done something wrong. A wire mix-up, perhaps. Or the potentiometer.
You're talking about your other mistakes, Sixer.
Oh, right.
Look, it's fine, alright? Sure, there's a dent in the hood from the shack. Sign, age, and crack in the windshield. That looks like an ominous triangle, but I'm sure...
You try to start up the car. It sputters, but ultimately nothing happens. You feel like crying.
Oh. Well, let's go Fortunate Soul here and forget about it.
I'll take care of it.
You're right, it is cheaper to tow yourself, Sixer. You get the magnet gun out again.
No, Stanley, I'm going to fix this.
What? Ha! You fixed this mess?
I figured out a few alien vehicles in my time.
Now you kidding me? I'd take some sort of miracle worker to bring this baby back to life, and this miracle worker is on vacation.
Stanley, a moment. Hey, Celia, do you want to still read the narration, or do you want me to do the narration and then you'll voice yourself? What do you want?
I can keep narrating me.
Okay. And talking about yourself in the second person?
Yes. Ford and Stanley turn away and you're left with your thoughts. Who can anticipate a car accident like this in the middle of a road trip? You can take care of the car, but how are you going to get home? They run buses out here, right? So you take the bus out of here and then... Ford clears his throat, shifting in a little awkwardly in place. Seems like they finished their talk.
So there are a few options. My brother Stanley here could drive you out of town to find a new place to stay for the night, or you could stay the night here. We have some maps and information you can look at in the gift shop, and in the morning we can help you with your car. What do you say?
Just as you're about to answer, another high-pitched voice comes from inside the house.
Go, get ready, Celia.
I'm so excited! Who could it be?
Do it!
Uncle Stan, picture this. A whole week of... Oh my gosh! The girl that runs out of the house comes to a halt at the sight of your car. Oh, great. Uncle Ford?
Why is it that everyone automatically assumes that I'm at fault? Well, this time it is my fault, but I've invited irregular Celia to stay with us for the night if she'd like. I'm sure I can fix this. I just have to figure out how. That's your name now, I'm sorry.
Oh, don't wear it out.
I can't get this deodorant to come out of this deodorant stick.
Stanley sighs.
Oh, hi, Mythomagically Delicious. I recognize your name. You worked on this game, right? What did you do?
I can take a look. Yeah, being on vacation is pretty boring, and the old stem, will be honest, and needed a tune-up yet, so it wouldn't be too bad to work on something in the meantime.
Oh, and Whiteheart 7 is here too. Thank you, Stanley. I'm sure I can put something together from the gadgets I have laying around, if you need any specialized tools to help you with the job.
And let me introduce myself. I'm Mabel. You can ask me anything. I pretty much know everything there is to know about this place. Ooh, wait, hold on. I haven't even said anything yet. I appreciate your offer to let me stay.
And to repair your car.
Yeah, it'll be good as new in my hands. I mean, look at my Stanmobile. She's going through the ringer, and who knows how many times she's still a beaut.
And then we also have Kiki Kit here watching, who also worked on this game. Yeah.
He points out a red car parked a distance away. You can't really see how beautiful it is at this distance, but he sounds really confident. Well, this turn of events is...
I got the deodorant to work.
Yay! Well,
Hey,
if you're
is it-
asking me, I think it's fortuitous.
Is it Ford-tuitous or suspicious?
Nice. Free repairs, free lodging? There's no better deal to be found. And if things don't work out, the town probably has some sort of auto repair shop you can head to instead. Well, I accept. Thanks for your help.
And my apologies again. What an embarrassment. I must have made such an elementary mistake.
As the Pines lead you inside the house, Mabel leaves her number in your phone for you to call whenever, and you find out that Ford's twin goes by Stan.
This part's the house, but just outside that door's the Mystery Shack. Hey, have you ever been to the Mystery Shack before?
I wanted to, actually. I saw a bumper sticker while I was on the road and got curious. You're interrupted by a loud, triumphant...
Ha! Those bumper stickers were a good investment. If Sixer says they're too plain and graphically simplistic and don't even have an address on them, Stanley, how is anyone supposed to find this place to attract customers? Sixer, did you hear that?
Well, they are graphically simplistic. I don't know how she found the place, let alone thought, what is the Mystery Shack was compelling.
kinda liked it.
See? She kinda liked it. Hey, I like you, Irregular Celia. How about I give you a tour sometime tomorrow? Regular price.
Regular price for an irregular Celia.
Tomorrow, then I'll have to squeeze all my get-to-know-you questions in today. Irregular Celia, tell me, capybara, yes or no? At the moment, a boy passes in the hallway at the far doorway, and Ford calls out to him.
Dipper, my boy! I'm surprised I didn't see you run out to the scene of the crime. Crime? What crime? I have an alibi! I swear! Oh, you have someone with you. Hey! I'm totally not suspicious at all. Did you guys see that car on the side of the shack, though? For a second I thought the Manitors were back with a grudge. Yes, about that, Dipper. Meet Irregular Celia. I've, stranded her car here by accident. She's staying here for the time being. Sorry, stranded her car here? You crashed it?
Yeah, the S in the shack fell on it and everything, and the windows are cracked.
One window? The windshield?
And Irregular Celia was lucky to make it out alive.
No, she's fine. No injuries, thankfully. The magnet gun's rather safe, despite never having been tested in a formal setting. Yeesh, did you not, take safety precautions or anything? Actually, the irony of the situation is that I was trying to install a safety precaution.
Hey, if you two are gonna do your nerd talk, I'm gonna get Irregular Celia set up. Mabel, sweetie, why don't you go show Irregular Celia around? Let her stay in, the storage room. That's still empty, right?
Celia, how do you feel that the Gravity Falls characters are repeatedly insulting you?
I was going to make a comment. What's... I'm not finding it that bad. Oh, I'll make it empty.
And Issa, I don't know how to pronounce it, is also here who worked on the game. Hello!
Who drew the Fords?
Yeah, guys in the chat, who did the art for these? I can't pull up the credits because the game takes up the whole screen, but I guess you could look on the vlog. Okay, keep reading the narration. Kiki did! Okay, Kiki, you did amazing at this!
The rest of the day consists of Mabel showing you the storage room you'll be staying in, and the kitchen, and the living room, and the hallway, and the bathroom, and pretty much a comprehensive tour of all the mundanities of a regular house. Eventually, you find out that the family is even more extended than you knew. The decorative doilies make a lot more sense knowing a grandmother normally lives here, and her grandson, Seuss. Or was it Zeus? Whatever the name, you look forward to meeting him when he comes for work in the morning. When you go up to the attic, Mabel opens the door to reveal Dipper, nose stuck in his book, and you catch him occasionally glancing up at you as he pretends to read. The next member of the family snorts up at you from Mabel's bed, a rotund pink pig, who Mabel declares as her best friend and partner in crime, Waddles. The two are a perfect match, right down to the chubby cheeks and boopable noses. And in the evening, though you'd still been in disbelief over the state of your car, the family dinner and after-dinner TV marathon you've been invited to made it seem like a normal guest stay rather than a forced circumstance. Returning to the storage room Mabel had shown you earlier, you find an air mattress waiting for you, and more pillows and sheets than a summer night warrants.
Issa says this is, or Issa, I still don't know how to pronounce it, says, this is surreal, y'all. Thanks for being the first people I get to watch play this thing, dang thing. You're welcome.
Thank you.
I'm having a lot of fun so far. It's actually like, this is, I believe, the third Gravity Falls visual novel I've played on my channel, and definitely the best written. And the art is amazing.
I may be irregular, but this is far from regular. Or something.
Sure.
You wake to the weak glare of sunlight streaming in through the small, high window in the wall. You can't remember your room having this kind of feature, or any hotel or motel room for that matter. And then yesterday comes crashing back to you.
In a car.
You glance at the time to see that you've slept into the afternoon. Experiencing the accident yesterday must have left you tired out. Despite having been assured yesterday evening that you were free to anything in the fridge, you still feel like you're imposing on the Pines family, and try preparing as polite a guest breakfast as you can. You wash your dishes in the sink before you leave, and just as you're about to exit the kitchen, you bump into Ford.
Excuse... Oh! You're, yes, from yesterday, of course.
For a good solid moment, Ford regards you in awkward silence. And so do I, evidently. Ford clears his throat.
I believe Stanley's taking a look at your car outside, if you want to be there for it.
You give a nod, and make to leave for real this time when Ford speaks up again.
And, Irregular Celia? I'm sorry again for the accident. If I'd been smarter about it... Well, let's just say it's entirely my fault. You shouldn't worry about this at all. When it comes down to it, Stanley does have a knack for cars. I predict you'll be back on the road in a matter of weeks.
Weeks? You can't keep the dismay off your face, and can't really bring yourself to try to either. What am I going to do with weeks?
Do you like that I made the character you, though?
It's fine. It reminds me of a self-insert fanfic that I may or may not have written. Look at his face! I love it!
Alright, keep reading.
Ford, who'd gone kind of uncomfortable and closed off when your face fell, recovers at the prospect of a question he can answer.
Well,
What about fanfiction?
Well, there's the town to tour, of course. And the Mystery Shack. And the fanfiction's about me, Stan. Not you.
Ah, damn it.
But if you ask me, all that pales in comparison to... Hold on. Do you hear that?
Ford turns to the kitchen doorway to investigate.
Sounds like...
Sound comes again, and this time you hear it as well. The squeal of a pig, followed by a pair of quick footsteps running down the stairs. Waddles tumbles past the open kitchen doorway, and Mabel comes into view soon after. A few sheets of paper are clutched in hand. Ford steps quickly out of the kitchen, and you follow in the doorway. Getting there just in time to see the apparent tug-of-war between Mabel and her pig over a saliva-covered sheet of paper.
By the way, everyone, is the volume levels good? Should the game be louder? Should they be louder? Should I be louder? Because I can adjust anything. Just let me know.
The paper rips, and nearly toppling backward from her efforts, Mabel recovers, snatching the scrap of ripped paper from Waddle's jaws and lifting both pieces up victoriously. Ha-ha! Mabel wins again! Now I just gotta find... Grunkle Ford! Ford, who'd run forward and held a hand out to steady this energetic child when she'd been in danger of toppling over, now finds a number of crumpled sheets of paper shoved into his hands. Mabel tugs urgently at his coat. Quicker, Ford, you have got to help me!
No, I'm not using the sound effects version because you said there was a little... It said there was a little bit of voice acting in that, and I wanted to do all the voice acting myself! It's mine! It's all me!
Well, except for me.
Oh, and her.
Can't sit
Yeah.
up.
Yeah. And him.
And this little fangirl down here. Ford kneels down to face Mabel with a serious though concerned look.
Slow down, Mabel. What's the matter?
Dipper found from your old journals, and I walked in and Waddles ran up and started eating one, and he must have been chewing on it to warn me, Uncle Ford, 'cause look! Mabel takes the ripped tabs of paper from Ford's hand and joins them together, holding it up for Ford to see.
I see. And you took it as a warning?
Yes! It says here that it eats small dogs, and Waddles is a small pig, and he sort of looks like a dog from far away, and Waddles must have feared for his life! Waddles seems to second this notion with a snort. Or not, as it seems. The pig is lounging adorably a short distance away in the hallway. You can't imagine what this serious predator could be. Some kind of wolf? Something bigger? You're suddenly not so keen on staying anymore. Remember the pterodactyl I told you about? Waddles was so scared that time. I can't let him leave my side. Pterodactyl? You suppose pigs are allowed in museums around here?
Huh. How about I finish that repellent I never got around to completing? That'll keep Waddles safe from harm.
Mabel flops down on the floor in relief. Uncle Ford, you're an actual lifesaver! Waddles, you have nothing to fear! Ford chuckles, lifting himself out of the kneel and standing back up.
Alright, I'll go get my recipe.
Ford turns to leave, and you suddenly remember that with nothing better to do for the weeks you're going to be there, it wouldn't hurt to get to know Ford. He seems to know what there is to do around town anyway, and you'll need that to not die of boredom in the first week. Or more pressingly, you could go check on your car and see what Stan's made of it so far. You're not exactly eager to face seeing your car in the side of the house again, though. Well, you know what I would pick.
What would you pick, Irregular Celia?
I wonder.
So you want to check on your car then?
Yes, again. Ford, wait. Need a hand with that recipe?
I can handle it myself.
Are you sure you couldn't use a hand? Ford looks away then, and you follow his averted line of sight to Mabel, who's just mouthed something you couldn't catch. When she catches you looking her way, Mabel gives you a 100-watt smile, the picture of innocence. Ford rubs the back of his neck.
Grim Anatomist in the chat says that they wrote this date.
Yes, I suppose I can accept some help.
And with that, assured that Ford is on the task, you spot Mabel rolling away with Waddles into the living room.
Before we get started, I suppose I should give you an introduction. Irregular Celia, tell me, do you believe in the supernatural?
I want to believe.
Yeah, let's go with I want to.
Well, you're about to come face to face with the unexplainable yourself. You see, Gravity Falls isn't some quiet, unassuming backwater town. Much more lurks below its surface.
Ford, you're right.
Ford pockets the crumpled up journal papers and gestures for you to join him as he walks. You do, and follow him through the living room into the gift shop.
Mathilde in the chat says the town contains irregularities.
I totally work then, because I'm irregular! I love it! And Ford likes irregular things! Ha-ha!
For example, you must have heard Mabel mention a pterodactyl. Most would say none exist in the living world today, but I say, not if you know where to look.
If anyone else told you this, you'd be disinclined to believe them, but the authority Ford carries is surprisingly compelling.
That's because I'm voiced by J.K. Simmons.
Maybe. Ford reaches under the cashier counter and retrieves a packet of vintage-looking gum, inspecting it for a moment before slipping it in his pocket. He looks around in thought.
Huh. Hold on to my explanation for the moment. I need to retrieve more supplies.
Ford ushers you out of the gift shop entrance so that you find yourself on the outside of the shack, then shuts the door behind you. Okay. Should I poll the audience?
Do you want to? Yeah, sure. Hey, everybody.
We're gonna pull you through your computer screen and into the game.
Yeah. We're going to poll the audience. There are 87 people watching. Look through the window. Spy, I see. Peer through the window. Issa says go back to Stan. Spy. Most of them are saying spy.
Okay. I'm a curious little irregularity. The glass is dirty enough that the sunlight is hitting it obscures your vision of the room within. You catch a gray and tan blurry figure that must be Ford at the far wall. You lean in too close and give a step back before you leave a conspicuous handprint on the window pane. When you look back in, Ford is gone. You turn back around. You're just going to stand out there until Ford returns. Not too long later, the door opens behind you and Ford joins you outside, looking no different than before. He must have stored whatever supplies he went to retrieve in his coat, but the trench coat falls too naturally on his figure for him to be hiding much.
Where were we? Ah, yes.
Ford pulls a pen and a pad of paper from his coat, while walking as he writes. Just as you're about to head out, he stops and smacks his hand to his face.
Oh, shoot! 1 second.
Ford hurries back to the house, realizing he forgot one important component to his adventure, a butterfly net. Before you get a chance to ask, he strides out ahead of you, obviously in no mind to tell you what it's for just quite yet. The pair of you walk past the shack and down a well-worn path into the trees surrounding the house, sunlight peeking between the pines. He double-checks whatever he scribbled onto the paper and tucks it back into one of his coat's seemingly infinite pockets. He stops and turns to face you with a definitive nod.
My recipe for repellent called for a sprig of lavender, 2 thin slices of ginseng, a drop of bat blood, a chunk of amber, and 3.5 milliliters of ink.
He pauses, staring down at the path in thought.
Obviously, I already have all those components on hand, all except for one last ingredient. A single moth's wing. From Mothman itself! Dum dum.
You can't help it. You gasp. Ford glances at you, and you think you see a hint of a smile before he turns back to the path and continues along, wind ruffling through his hair.
You see, Mothman is the very creature on the page that Waddles seems to fear. Using a piece of itself should ward it away, or at least lead it to believe that Waddles isn't for eating. I would have already completed the repellent years ago if I managed to collect that wing.
Was it too difficult?
I just never got around to it. Besides, Mothman used to come bat at this lamp I had lit out on the backyard. It seemed like such an innocent hobby that I never had the heart to chase it off. But if this brings Mabel and her pig a peace of mind, then the time has come to finish the— What? Do you like my dance?
Sunlight filters in through the trees, causing dappled shadows across Ford's coat as he leads in front of you.
We gonna poll the chat again? Or you got an option?
I don't want to complain about the walking.
Do you want to ask how he knows about the stuff, or you want to wait for him to speak?
Well, regular Celia would wait for him to speak, but irregular Celia is gonna take initiative.
The fantasy version of yourself.
Yes.
That might be a cryptid.
I study anomalies. Anything unusual, strange, irregular, and just plain weird. I began to research in this town because it was, and remains, a hotbed of paranormal activity. I made this exact trip years ago, though at the time I had no idea where I was going. It was just dumb luck that I managed to tail Mothman back to its cave from my backyard. Navigating the forest by moonlight is poetic, but not advisable. I made plenty of other discoveries as well. From fairies to gnomes to amalgams of creatures who were never meant to cross to, hey.
Ford reaches into his pocket and pulls out the slightly crumpled pages Mabel had pushed into his hand earlier, smoothing them out and shuffling through them.
Take a look at these. They're more definitive proof than just my word.
You accept the pages from him and find that they're scanned pages from some sort of journal, just as you'd heard Mabel say. Fluid cursive tells of Mothman, beard cubs, scamp fires, and more. Ford gestures to them and explains.
I detailed my discoveries in a series of research journals, the remaining pages at least. I wonder where Stanley was keeping these.
Well?
Why would you walk in silence?
Oh yeah, cool.
Ask him a question and then just walk.
Ask him a question and walk away while he answers. Wow, that's really interesting. Tell me more about that. Leaves. That's Brian. You just described Brian.
Between Were Any of the Creatures Dangerous or You Drew These? Because I like the art.
Sorry, you're not really in this path, Brian.
That's fine.
Alright. You like...
Well, aren't you glad you're not narrating now, Charlie?
Do you... Nah, let's keep you narrating. I was about to say, do we want Brian to be narrating then? So, you drew these then?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, of course. Who else?
If we did the Stan route, the VA would kill their throat. No, that's just kind of Brian's normal voice.
Yeah. I destroy my vocal cords on a regular basis.
He used his normal voice for Mr. Incredible in our Incredibles Real-Time Fandub, which you can watch on our channel, and there are a lot of comments saying, why does he sound like Grunkle Stan?
Also subscribe. Yes, of course. Who else? All right, what are you going to compliment on?
I love your line work.
I've seen better.
Yeah, me too.
My work is far better, but I appreciate the compliment.
Despite his understated words, Ford looks surprisingly pleased.
I detailed my discoveries in a series of research journals. The remaining pages, at least. I wonder where Stanley was keeping these.
Oh, cool. We get to do a thing. Well, we're not walking in silence. Were any of the creatures ever dangerous?
Oh, extremely. Some were worse. Dangerously annoying.
Though Ford seems to find his own comment amusing, he doesn't fail to notice your unease.
I do have weapons in case things escalate, so there's no need to worry.
You brought weapons?
Not many. I have a stun gun, my fists, and my sharp wit.
sorry, I'm stretching my face muscles.
I feel like I'm supposed to be saying this sarcastically, but I'm going to say it with sincerity. I feel safer already.
Then walk in silence.
You don't have any obligation to watch FTW NAF, but everyone who worked on this game is reading what you're writing, so don't be mean.
Or I'll beat you up.
Brian's gonna beat you up. He did it to me once. It hurt a lot.
Yeah, and I did it through his computer, too. I didn't even have to drive up to New Jersey.
Mythomagically Delicious says we should ask about these creatures.
Okay, let's do it.
You shuffle... oh, yes. So...
You shuffle through the pages, deciding which one to ask about. Well, Mothman seems to be the most relevant, but if you want to go through one of these other ones...
It's up to you. He's asking you. It's you. This is your date with Ford.
Irregular, Celia.
Okay, let's ask about Mothman.
He also beat Charlie in front of an audience at a con once.
Yes,
Yep.
this is true. And blood got everywhere.
Yes, it's probably still on the wall of that classroom at Stevens Institute of Technology to this day. Yes, that's how we'll get the Mothwing.
Then why not use mothballs as repellent?
Well, I've never tried.
Could the most conventional method be the most unconventional one? Alternatively, could the most regular method be the irregular one? Or would Mothman be able to overcome its mothly nature and persist? Creatures! Alright, gnomes?
Sure.
Other places have rats, mice, or insects as house pests. We have gnomes. Picture your typical garden gnome, but more disturbing. I doubt we'll spot it today, but perhaps we can go bird watching later if you're interested.
Groans about the leprechaun.
Ford groans. You wait for further answer, but that's it.
Sounds disconcerting, doesn't it? I once released them in my house by accident and found eyeballs in the most unsuspecting places for months. My guests chose not to comment on my choice of house decor.
Alright, bye Grim Anatomist. Thank you for all your work on this game. And for coming by to watch us play it, even though you've...
Goodbye, Grim. I loved you and Billy and Mandy.
Bye, thank you.
Gravity Falls is home to giant vampire bats? Giant fruit bats, actually. They were among the first to teach me not to judge a creature by its reputation. I only realized they were harmless once I'd been bitten by one.
Oh, no, that still sounds pretty bad.
It actually healed quite fast. I attribute it to the health kick I was on soon after.
Grim Loblin.
Ah, a rare species that I've since steered clear of when accompanied by others. Though if you want to see one in person, I'm sure it wouldn't hurt to walk into that situation again for the sake of education.
Alright.
I guess... Are we walking in silence now?
What do you want to do? You want to ask about the magnet gun, or crazy stuff, or just walk in silence?
Well, we've asked all about the creatures, so we can comment you must have gotten into some crazy stuff back then.
Well, that's one way to put it. Only took 6 years for me to get in over my head.
He takes a silent moment to look away from your gaze, seemingly in bittersweet remembrance.
Okay, magnet gun. I thought it would be prudent to leave its magnetic fields alone for a while until I have the time to optimize it. You see, I was trying to widen the area of magnetic influence, but it's been a while since I last worked with the gun. I needed to re-familiarize myself with its inner workings. My guess is I switched a wrong wire or two and instead narrowed the beam.
I'd like to see how it works sometime.
Is that a euphemism? Really? You know, if you're interested in devices like that, my old research colleague Fiddleford would have more to show you. He's the engineering genius around here.
If it was, he didn't get it.
I call dibs on voicing Fiddleford.
I know, I was gonna say, I was literally about to say Brian's voicing Fiddleford.
Suddenly, Ford puts an arm out in caution, slowing his pace. You narrowly manage not to collide into him, and take a quick glance around to see... nothing?
Look! There!
You see what looks like a bundled-up plaid shirt moving along the forest floor. Wait, is that a beaver's tail? It looks like... Ah!
Sadly, Fiddleford is not in the game, says the old dog.
Aw.
A platypus! Huh, what are you doing all the way out here?
Don't you mean a platypus? Ford shakes his head with a grin.
I meant what I said. It's a plaid platypus. A platypus.
Ford moves into a crouch, but stays at a respectable distance, following the small creature. You watch him, and after a moment, mimic his actions. Ford's giving the creature a bright smile, the first of its kind you've seen since leaving Mabel at the shack.
You're a cute one, aren't you? And in one of my favorite patterns, too.
Ford motions for you to move forward a little more, to the distance he's maintaining.
Hey, no offense.
If I were to rate the oddities that live in this forest on a scale of least to most annoying, these little guys would get immunity. They have done nothing wrong and I appreciate them for it.
As the two of you watch in quiet appreciation, the platypus ambles into the underbrush and vanishes from view.
By the way, Vus, who started the project, is here watching as well.
Oh, nice.
What a cute little guy.
God bless you. This is wonderful. The two of you continue deeper into the forest. The foliage seems denser now, and you look through the treetops for a glimpse of the sun, which has by now dropped low in the sky. It had already been getting late when you left, but you hadn't thought Mothman would be this far out. Almost as though he's read your mind, Ford answers for you.
Mothman is rather reclusive, and as such lives deeper within the forest than bolder creatures like the gnomes. Are you alright?
Huh?
That is, are you tired at all? I should have asked you sooner. It's just been a long time since I've traveled with anyone new. Stanley, tends to speak his mind without my asking.
Thank you for the trees, Vus. What are you going for? Oh, thank you for the trees, Raz. What's up, Celia? What's the plan?
I guess I'm fine, really.
I'm glad to hear it. Still, we have some time until sunset. Let's wait here in the meantime.
Why wait until sunset?
You'll see.
The moment the sun touches the horizon through the gaps of the treetops, Ford gestures for the two of you to continue. You hadn't noticed, but you'd been resting within short distance of a small clearing that holds a cylindrical stone marker. The stone marker bears intricate swirls carved into its surface. Ford reaches into his coat and produces the packet of gum from earlier, opening it and dumping the pieces out onto his palm.
Gum?
No, thank you. Unsure why you came all the way out here to unwrap gum at sunset, you decline a stick of gum.
Thank you, Lacey.
Ford puts the remaining gum in his coat breast pocket.
Oh, wait. You said impressionism, not impressions. I have to pull up the chat on my phone, because the game takes up almost the whole screen on my computer.
He unwraps the now empty gum packet to reveal that it was hiding a small piece of parchment, folded up to act as lining. He smooths it out against the stone, holding it under the deep orange-red light of the sunset. You step closer to look over Ford's shoulder. The parchment holds a detailed drawing of the swirls carved onto the stone, documenting every crack on the surface. As you watch, a golden cursive unfolds itself across the page, seemingly fueled by the sunset's warm light. Ford reads the words as they appear.
Such a place the Mothman doth rest. But please do not disturb his nest. If kindness be something thou bereft.
Ford lifts the parchment a little higher to prevent his shadow from obscuring the rest of the line.
Follow thy nature, and turn left.
I think we turn left.
I think so, Irregular Celia. We press onward.
Left leads you to a dimly lit cave, which Ford says he remembers well, except last time he was there, it was pitch black since he arrived in the middle of the night. From its depths, you hear the faint sound of dripping water echoing off the cave's shadow-shrouded walls. You slow as your eyes attempt to adjust to the low light.
Oh, Whiteheart, this is your background? The cave? No, the one after this?
Ford pauses in front of you, reaching into his coat for something.
Hold on. I have a flashlight in here somewhere. This cave has never received much natural light, you see, and,
He rummages further and you see a couple dice, the pad of paper from earlier, and a quill. He has some custom pocket work going on in there too, and you bet one of his coat's inner pockets has a pen protector in it.
Here we are, at last. Allow me to... Darn, out of batteries.
Wait, I think I have one. You pull out your phone and turn on its flashlight. The light is small, but it does its job.
Huh. You saved our hides there, Regular Celia. I was about to pull out a matchbook.
With your light guiding the way, you and Ford move further into the cave, which yawns wide around you. It isn't until the sliver of natural light from the entrance disappears that Ford speaks again.
It's been years since I've been here. Decades even at this point. But I'll always remember the eye bats as one of my first discoveries when I arrived at Gravity Falls.
How did you find them in the first place?
One got into my house, you see. I was making breakfast one morning and one managed to find my cereal box. When I poured the cereal into the bowl, it came fluttering out, agitated, like it belonged there. The nerve!
He still sounds so indignant even years later that you laugh.
I wanted to contain it for further study, but unfortunately it managed to get away. As I thought about it afterwards, its pupil had constricted against the light, unfamiliar of the bright light in the kitchen, so it's either nocturnal or... It lives in the deepest, darkest cave in Gravity Falls. I found them easily after that.
Did you manage to catch one?
Somewhat. I came running through this cave with a butterfly net and my wits. I brought a working flashlight that time. They all hid in dark corners. Once I turned the flashlight off, they flocked to me. I caught 18 of them that day, but it reminded me of the stealth uses of...
The rapid sound of clicking claws against stone startles you, a shiver running up your spine.
The dark.
You turn off your light. Ford taps your shoulder and gestures for you to keep moving forward. Eventually, the narrow passage widens into a large room. The darkness shrouds the source of the dripping water from view, but as your eyes adjust, you squint to see a strange winged shadow, a shadow with eyes that glow red in near darkness like rubies. Your breath catches in your throat as the realization comes over you. Ford is apparently fairly close to you in the room. You find when he speaks a few inches from your shoulder. You catch the shadow of his arm swing out in a wide arc, like he's introducing you to...
Irregular Celia, I'd like for you to meet the Mothman. Oh, I mean, I wisp. Irregular Celia, I'd like for you to...
He whispers, but even in the dark you can see him grinning excitedly at you. Ford looks between you and the Mothman, apparently hoping for a dramatic reaction. Your speechlessness seems to satisfy him.
Lorelei Maravane says, by the way, Celia, your voice is very nice. Well, you could check out more of her voice. Which one's the voice acting blog?
Where is Celia's off switch?
You can check out more of her voice here. And she voiced Monica in both our Doki Doki Cliff's Notes Club abridged series and the stinger for it at the end of our improvised dub of Sousa and the real girl.
Oh, right, I was going to say something like, I'm impatient, date me now.
Oh, I messed up! Alright. Has she just...
Oh, I've done a goof!
Has she voiced just Monica? You mean for me, or did you just want to say just Monica?
She just voices Monica all the time, no one else.
Yep. No, she voiced Velma for me years ago. Alright.
And my YouTube used to be CCat13, but now it's CCat Myla.
CCat Myla on YouTube?
I changed it, yeah.
Do you want to type in the chat so they could click your channel?
I cannot at this time.
Okay.
Don't worry, it hasn't noticed us yet. Here's a plan. You make contact with the Mothman, and I...
He pulls out a butterfly net and a large lidded jar. Now where that one came from within his code of mysteries is lost to you.
will capture one of the 100 moths that comprise
it. Good options.
Touch the Mothman.
I get to touch Mothman!
Hey, welcome to the channel, Cookie. Make sure to subscribe. We got some great things coming up. We're gonna be,
Subscribe before I eat you, Cookie.
We're gonna be dubbing, a bunch of viewer requests from Patreon next month, and we're gonna be posting, I'm gonna start doing dubs of the Gravity Falls comic that's coming out next month, so...
Oh, that's gonna be awesome.
Yeah. Hey Celia, that post about the hottest Pixar dudes is the first thing I see, and honestly, valid.
Thank you!
Alright, here we go. Touch them all.
Honestly, I just wanted to put Hector Rivera 5 times, but...
Yes, and it turns into 100 black, witch moths. It's like experiencing a swarm of locusts. Surprising when you're not expecting it. Remember, even just a light touch is enough.
You steel yourself, awaiting Ford's signal. He waves his hand to coax you forward, and then it's up to you to decide how to, well, make contact.
Ginger is a Spice says, dating Mothman simulator now.
I agree.
Do I always stream on your... What? Touch the butt, says Lorelei.
Approach with stealth?
Not touch its butt?
Oh, run around to the blind spot? Is that what touch the butt?
That's what they were telling you for touch the butt.
Touch the butt.
Amiga Lupus says charge straight at it, the Stanley Pines approved method. Aren't y'all dubs improvised? Yes! But we're also going to be doing Just a regular dub of the comic when it comes out. Or mostly me.
Okay, run around to the blind spot.
Alright.
As you sprint towards the winged creature, you slip on a puddle of water on the floor and fall flat on your face. The phone skids away across the floor, face down, sinking your surroundings back into darkness. I'm wondering now if there's, like, bad endings to this.
Yeah, we should have saved. Keep going.
Still, you manage...
Celia?
Celia?
Still, you manage to grab one of Mothman's legs before you fall and find yourself clutching nothing in the midst of a fluttering cloud of moths. Rather inelegant, but hey, whatever works in the heat of the moment, right? Ford dashes towards and manages to scoop one up in the net, dropping it into a jar and popping the lid back on top. Yay!
Got one. You can get up now, irregular Celia. Well, I guess I'm gonna save.
Well, I guess Ford's not gonna help me up. That was amazing! Ford laughs, brushing dust and dirt off his trench coat.
You could say that. Our completed repellent is within sight. Let's head back.
Ford turns to leave the cave. He looks calm. You on the with energy under an adrenaline rush. Should you go for a high five? Well, technically it's a high six. Yes. You raise your hand in a universally understood offer for a high five. Ford pauses, then grins, high-fiving you, or rather, six.
Haha!
Hey.
When you and Ford finally reach the cave entrance, you find that the forest that you'd left in the dying light is now awash with a silvery glow. A gap between the leaves overhead provides a view of the night sky, a long string of stars. A few more steps and the Milky Way comes into view, looking as if a tear across the fabric of the sky. Ford notices you looking.
See something? The pterodactyl doesn't usually come out this late, but being a prehistoric creature, its behavior is rather unpredictable.
I've never seen the Milky Way in person before. It looks amazing.
Isn't it? It's remarkable what you could see without light pollution from the city. Here on the outskirts of town, you could see a good portion of the Milky Way every night.
He gazes up into the night sky.
A whole year has passed, yet it still feels strange to see a sky I recognize.
What?
I ate the sky. I mean, traveling. You know, I was in a different part of the world.
You both stare up at the sky in a comfortable silence for a few more moments. The quiet of the forest settles in, along with the distant sound of flowing water, and you find yourself surprisingly glad that Ford had accidentally pulled you here, if this is one of the moments you get to experience. Out of the corner of your eye, you swear you see Ford looking at you instead of up. But then you tilt your head back down. His attention is elsewhere. Eventually, the two of you come to a wordless mutual agreement to continue on, and you're walking again. You'll have to show me the other creatures that live here sometime. You're glad you said so when you look over and find that Ford looks pleasantly surprised to hear it. His chest puffs out with pride.
Of course. Maybe we'll even get to spot the hide behind, or tag along with Dipper when he visits the multiverse.
The what? Ford taps his temple, grinning.
You'll have to wait until I show you to find out.
I'm holding you to that.
We have some time left before we get back, if you're up for another walk.
You must make a face because Ford looks back at you and laughs.
We're not that far, I promise. I just thought I might answer a few of your questions, if you have any.
So many questions!
Yes, we have questions. The royal we. You must stay in great shape if you do this all day.
You know, actually, this sort of thing isn't part of my exercise regimen.
Ford turns left at the stone marker towards the sound of the river, and sure enough, after a while it comes into view. The moonlight illuminates the water as you walk along it. After following the river for quite a few minutes, the shoreline expands into a small round lake in the center of a clearing. Overhanging it is a large flat rock, the kind that could be used as a less than effective diving board in times of emergency. The emergency being that one just had to jump into the lake. However, neither yourself or Ford really look in the direction of the diving board. He leads you towards the edge of the lake where a relatively flat boulder could substitute for a bench, and the two of you take a seat.
How hard is it for you not to tell Charlie and Celia all of the proper answers? And Brian. Brian's here too.
Hey,
Sorry you have no one to voice in this path, Brian.
that's okay.
Are you having fun?
Yeah.
Break the silence?
Ask about his family. So... I like Mabel.
In short, a force to be reckoned with. She radiates charm and positivity, and has depth of determination I can only guess at. You'll find out for yourself, most likely. It's hard not to wake up one day and find yourself her friend. Perhaps you already are.
He wriggles his fingers spookily in the air and you laugh.
Mythomagically Delicious says, is it rude to ask about his hot brother on a date with him?
No, it is not, actually.
I don't doubt it.
Alright, let's do it!
Ask about Stan? Okay.
Stubborn, foolhardy, liar and a cheapskate, but a true hero at heart. There's no one else I'd rather call my brother.
Yeah.
You've solved all of my puzzles! So, chunks, huh? Gonna change topics? What do you want to do?
Let's change topics. We already asked about the creatures. I'm not sure we're gonna get different answers. You said to wait, but I can't. But can I at least get a preview of what I'd be getting into?
Not content to leave them to discover yourself, hmm? Well, has anyone ever told you about the Gobblewonker?
You snort, taken aback by the name, but compose yourself when Ford simply raises an eyebrow. I don't think so. No.
Not even in the tourist guide? Does the office even read my letters? Parker!
Ford mutters to himself something about updating the tourist guide to warn against local dangers. He sighs with a frustration that's reserved for bureaucracy, but soon lightens up at the prospect of getting to introduce you to another strange creature.
By the way, the best thing about Penny going by Penny Parker now is that I can just call her and go,
Parker! Well, the Gobblewonker is a large sea creature that lives in this very lake. One could say it's our version of the Loch Ness Monster. My old research assistant apparently saw it at some point. He said it was large, gray, and scaly, with a long neck like a giraffe. You wouldn't have had any odd sightings yet, have you? It's only been about 24 hours, but my own first encounter with the strange occurred shortly after my arrival as well. Well?
Maybe?
Maybe.
I saw Mabel stick kitten-shaped stickers all over her face today. That must count for something, right? Ford laughs.
Ha! I'll be sure to write that anomaly down once we get back to the shack.
I never learned how to laugh.
What's the plan?
Ask about
Oh,
Stan
yeah.
again.
Just keep asking until he take you home.
Wait for him?
Yeah. Ford looks out across the lake in thought.
Irregular Celia, I have to admit, I didn't want to take you with me earlier. I thought I'd be walking myself into an uncomfortable social situation.
So did you, to be honest.
And you did well out there! Not that many tourists could handle that kind of task we just completed. This had the potential to have gone disastrously. I mean, a butterfly net? Against Mothman? Easily a 3% success rate.
Sometimes, the more Ford speaks, the less reassured you feel, until all that's left is a distant unease. You smile and nod anyway. The two of you sit in another moment of quiet. Night air pleasantly chilled around you. Again breaks it.
We should head back now. I'm sure Mabel will want to hear we've been successful.
You stand and give Ford a hand up from the makeshift bench. Ford takes the lead again, and soon you're no longer able to catch sight of the lake when you glance back. Ford gradually adjusts his pace to yours, walking side by side with you in companionable silence all the way back to the shack.
Almost there.
You recognize from the incredibly flashy signs touting phrases like Mystery Shack this way and Sasquatch to your left that you are extremely close to arriving back at the shack.
I wish I could send a super chat, but I have exactly 68 cents. Well, that's okay. It's the thought that counts. Well, it's money that counts, but...
If only you had one more penny on you.
Apparently I set my minimum as 69. I didn't know that. I think that's what they're implying. I feel like that's what must have happened.
As you and Ford leave the tree line, you see the bright light shining on the porch. You make out the faint outline of the kids' shadows as they run through the house and emerge in the attic window, and Mabel pushes it open, leaning out. Grandpa Ford, finally! You guys took so long! I had to cover waddles and macaroni!
Why would you do that?
I have my reasons. Did you get the thing?
Yes, and I'm coming inside so we can stop shouting. Irregular Celia, come along. We've got a pig to save.
Ford strides into the shack, a man on a mission. You grin and follow, but not before taking one last look at the night sky. Yeah, maybe your stay won't be too bad after all. Back inside the shack, the grand conclusion to your expedition to the Mothman's cave is spritzing Mabel's pig with the newly finished deterrent until the poor piglet reeks of lavender. You see Mabel and Dipper head up to bed looking sleepier than usual as a result. Something about lavender is so soothing to the senses that you crash out fairly soon afterwards, face first on your makeshift bed.
Hey guys, hey, can we take this little bit where we're in between days so I can show you the new video I made? Brian did the instrumental. Celia didn't do anything. I'm sorry. but I'm very proud of it, and it's a sign of amazing things to come, and seeing as you're all here watching, and some of you are new to the channel, I'd like to show it to you.
I'll make sure we don't lose viewers.
If we could please the fans, hearing out all their demands, we could do about anything. We could even start a new dub. 2 whole weeks of dubs you want, chosen from our Patreon, and we'll dub about anything for our special real-time Fandub bomb. Fandub bomb.
Sonic, you are under arrest! You gotta go to the slammer! Go, 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 go!
So yeah, if you guys want to spread the word for that, there's the Tumblr post. Friends, you still there?
I was getting me some tea, because, you know,
We
reading.
can hear the video through the Discord.
Well, the video's on YouTube. You can watch it whenever. Yeah, we already got a couple requests. We got we're gonna be, so the 2 weeks in July, 16th to 27th, we're gonna be dubbing Phineas and Ferb, Scooby-Doo, Sonic. They said any Sonic show. What else did we get? It's on the thumbnail. Let me look at the thumbnail. It's... yeah. Oh, and Rugrats! Alright, well. Yeah, so just share that if you can, guys. And we're back to the game now. And Stan, we're back to the area where Stan is, Brian.
Ah, finally.
Alright, keep reading, Celia.
You wake up to a loud crash downstairs. Not entirely uncommon in this house. You're quickly finding out, but still disconcerting.
Thank you for the super chat donation, Gravity Artist. Gravity Artist just sent $2 and said this money is for Stan so that he will love me. Stan, what do you say to $2 for your love?
$2 is pretty good, but what about $5?
Alright, thank you so much. That helps a lot. How are my housemates? They're doing well. Well, Haley got sick. Haley's girlfriend, Blue, who voiced Frozone, stayed over the house since Wednesday and then left today. Everyone in the house has a cold except me. I am horrified because the likelihood of me catching one is like near guaranteed at this point. Not Sonic Underground. Well, the advertisement said Sonic X. The user said Sonic Boom. We'll find out.
We'll dub all of them at the same time.
We'll dub 2 minutes from each Sonic show. And try to edit it together for an episode. Gravity Artist says, 5? Are you trying to make me broke, Stan? And Ponies, Music, and More. We did already do a My Little Pony dub with Brian as Fluttershy.
Yeah.
And me as Spike. Alright, let's continue.
It's Spike as Rainbow Dash.
Well, no, a lesbian couple doesn't live with me. They stayed with me. Haley lives with me, and then her girlfriend lives in Florida. But she stayed up because we went to Gay Pride in New York City on Sunday. Alright, keep reading, Celia.
More clatters and thumps lead you to the kitchen, where Mabel teeters on a short step ladder in front of the pantry.
Or is it a
Standing on the
ladder?
Well, he must have gotten one later.
Alright, keep reading.
Standing on her tiptoes, she reaches as high as she can for a small yellow box on the top shelf. Pancake mix. Without a word, you go to her side and pluck the box from the shelf for her, placing it into her outstretched hand. Oh, irregular Celia! Thank you! Uncle Stan put it on the top shelf for some reason, but I need some Mabel cakes. It's a breakfast emergency! She waggles her free fingers in your face and you can't help but laugh. You can tell the house becomes more alive when this kid's around. Oh, this is gonna be me talking to myself. Yay.
You want me to
Wanna
voice
help me
Mabel?
You want Brian to voice Mabel so you're not talking to yourself?
I'm having fun, but if you need something to do...
I mean, there's Stan coming up soon, because I can wait.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Yeah, I'm assuming he is. The people in the chat will know because they made this game. Alright, keep reading Mabel for now, Celia. Oh, please have Brian voice Mabel, Brian voice Mabel. Okay, I'm sorry, it was decided
Okay,
Celia.
go ahead.
Alright. Want to help me make them? We only need chocolate milk, coffee, pink food coloring, and pot of Golos. Make this breakfast dream a breakfast reality.
As delicious as that sounds, you're inclined to ask where the coffee comes into the mix when you realize the house is suspiciously quiet.
Hey, I have a better idea. Why doesn't Brian do the narration? That sounds like it makes more sense, right? Oh, nope, the chat's already decided this is what they want.
And it is so. Mabel, where is everybody?
Waddles ate them. Oh, Uncle Stan needed stuff for the car, so he went to go get mechy-techy stuff for that. I think Uncle Ford somewhere.
He heard the abominable bro man was trying to steal soda from campers, so he went to go help them out.
I didn't ask about Ford. Who asked about Ford? Ooh.
Oh shit. Yup, that's where he went. Totally knew it.
So they left you guys to make breakfast on your own? You don't know the family well enough yet to know this is commonplace, so the idea of leaving two teenagers alone to fend for themselves seems fine. If one of the teenagers wasn't Mabel, anyway. You still don't know how coffee fits into her Mabel cakes, but now you don't really want to know. Dipper attempts to hide the pancake mix from Mabel while she's grabbing the chocolate milk from the fridge. Apparently he doesn't want to find out either. Mabel, while your Mabel cakes sound absolutely divine, why don't we... Quick, think of something so you don't hurt her feelings. Let's go out!
Yeah.
Is there somewhere we can go to get breakfast? We should really save the Mabel cakes till one of your great uncles gets back. I know they wouldn't want to miss him.
But I want to perfect my recipe! I have to get better at cooking and baking and shit so I can survive out there in the world! What if in high school I'll have to bake shit and people are better than me?
Mabel looks very agitated, tugging at her hair with both hands.
Ah! If I can't make the perfect Mabel cakes, I could never be on Bad Dreams Dining! I gotta impress Gerald Rimbone, Irregular Celia, it's my destiny!
Well, there's nothing else to pick. Maybe Dipper can help you make something different. You should save the Mabel cakes for another day. A more special day.
Dragon Slayer says my girlfriend forced me to come here. My girlfriend got upset because I didn't tell her I was streaming. Oops. Sorry, Agnia.
Oops, all berries. But Irregular Celia!
Mabel, still standing on the stepladder, reaches up and squishes your cheeks together, her eyes wide staring into your soul.
Give me your life force. Every day is a special day with Mabel cakes.
You glance at Dipper, making a "please help me and I'll buy you breakfast" face. You hope he understands.
The second I finished editing the video, I was already to a point where I was like, well, I have to set up for the stream now. And literally seconds before we started, I finished sending it to everyone who worked on the game. Not that I should have excuses. Alright.
Charlie, do I need to beat you up again?
Yeah, probably.
Alright.
Yeah, Mabel, I know you want to cook more since you're...
Becoming an adult!
Sure, but don't you think Uncle Stan and Great Uncle Ford should be here to try to help them too? And not just me? Again?
Mabel hops off the stepladder and ponders her brother's question, lips pursed. Eventually, she nods, beaming at you both.
You're right, Dipper. I can't deny them that experience.
You give Dipper a thankful smile over Mabel's head as she puts the ingredients back in the refrigerator. He grins back at you, rubbing the back of his neck. You wonder if he got that from one of his grunkles. That's clever now you think about it. Great plus uncle to make grunkle. Saves time on syllables. It took me that long.
We should go to Greasy's. They have some of the best pancakes there, with like 3 different kinds of syrup if you ask Lazy Susan nicely.
Yeah, it's not super far. Let's go.
The kids are about to head out of the kitchen when you realize something. Wait, aren't you going to leave a note for your grunkles about where you're going?
Oh, right. Good call.
Dipper scribbles out a note for Stan and Ford and sticks it on the front door of the shack with one of Mabel's stickers. The kids lead the way towards town, explaining various landmarks and the wild and wonderful stories attached to them along the way.
Agnia, the background artist, is watching this, so you can compliment them directly.
Those bacon trees look delicious.
Those bacon trees.
And this is where we saw those 2 ghostly old people.
In the convenience store? Strange, but you nod regardless. Maybe she just meant they were so old they looked like ghosts. Though after what you've heard about Gravity Falls already, you could believe they were real ghosts. Dipper points out the diner in the distance, a log-shaped building atop a train cart, and the 3 of you head inside. You soon realize the kids know just about everyone in this town. Several people, young and old, wave at them as the 3 of you find a table, and you get the feeling they're almost famous in Gravity Falls, though you're not entirely sure why. They're pretty cute, though. Mabel blows the paper wrapper of her straw at Dipper's face, and he retaliates by swatting her with a laminated menu. An elderly woman in a pastel pink waitress dress comes up to the table, and you catch the name on her tag, Susan.
Okay. Hey, Brian.
Yeah?
If you give Celia Mabel back, I'll give you Lazy Susan.
Okay.
Both of them. I'm enjoying
God.
this. I'm having fun.
I've never done
tried to do Lazy Susan before.
Just
I mean,
do your actual... I think you could actually pull it off. You're a pretty good mimic.
okay. Let me just remember what she sounds like.
I got hit by a bus!
Okay.
Hey there, kids! And stranger, what can I get for ya?
Okay, Celia, that's you now.
Pancakes and all 3 syrups for me, please, Lazy Susan.
Same for me, actually.
Lazy Susan turns and I guess I'm getting the same.
You're getting what?
I'm gonna get the same, the pancakes.
Pancakes?
The same cakes.
Same cakes.
Coming right up, sweetie!
Good job, Brian.
Lazy Susan winks, with her good eye, of course, and heads to the back of the diner. The wait for your food to arrive feels longer here than most, mainly due to Mabel and Dipper using this time to interrogate you. At first it's somewhat intimidating. You literally crashed into their house and started hanging out with their great uncles, so they have lots of questions.
International House of Stan Cakes.
Someone said Susan sounds like the Hand Witch's sister. Well, the Hand Witch is voiced by Matt Chapman, and I do impersonate Strongbat a lot.
Me too. We're like sisters.
I don't.
You... Alright, let's hear your strong bat, Celia.
Oh, the only things I'm coming up with are him answering questions.
Like, just go with, Dear Strongbat, how do you type with boxing gloves on? Crap fully yours.
Dear Strongbat, how do you type with boxing gloves taped to your hands? Crapfully yours, crap.
That's not bad, actually.
Yeah, that was actually pretty good. It actually does sound like old school Strongbat, but if his voice was like pitched up.
Alright. Did we read this one already? I'm
I-
sorry, I'm distracted.
In high school, I used to really like to quote, Senior Card Gauge.
On your ass.
Say hello to my tackle box.
Is Strongbat still a thing? Yes! The Kickstarter for the Trogdor board game is going up next month, and that...
Yeah, they were promoting it at PAX East, like back in like April, and it had to be the one fucking year I wasn't able to attend PAX East, because it's only like an hour and a half away from where I live.
Literally the reason we're doing this new Fandub Bob is because I want to give a hefty donation to the Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Alright. Alright, here we go. Keep reading.
Mabel's questions are somewhat nonsensical. So, if you were stranded on a deserted island with no boat, no cheating, what would you take with you?
Actually, I do know someone who does a Kristen Shaw impression rather than just trying to match Mabel's personality. It's, her name is Courtney. She currently actually does her Mabel voice in Final Fantasy Abridged on Team 4-Star, and she's voiced Mabel for me here and there.
Well, Dippers are more careful and calculated.
What were you doing before you came here? School, work, both, neither? Did you know about Gravity Falls before you crashed into the shack? Yo, I have $20 in cash. Where do you want it sent?
Through the computer.
I don't think you can send...
Yeah, just
Deposit in your
Send
bank
money through your
account and then
computer.
use the super chat function. Can we send you donations? Please! There's the super chat function's right there on the chat right there. That's what it's for.
You know, for a second there, your Dipper kind of sounded like that really tall man in the tiny car from The Simpsons.
Alright. Alright, so keep reading.
You immediately know which grunkle each twin takes after. Stan and Mabel, goofy partners in crime, versus the quiet brainiacs, Ford and Dipper. It's an intriguing contrast, especially now that you're thrown into the middle of the bunch. But as the twins race to see which syrup bottle drips into their mouths the fastest, Dipper's blueberry syrup beats Mabel's classic maple by half a millisecond, you swear on it. You know that these kids do a lot more for their great uncles than just be cute counterparts.
Brian.
Oh, shit.
And here we go. Enjoy, kiddos. Let me know if you need anything else.
Lazy Susan gives out the respective plates and the kids go quiet shoveling their food like they've never been fed before. Between mouthfuls, you get a few more questions about yourself and your theories on aliens versus which member of Synchronize was your favorite.
Synchronize! Who wrote that joke? Keep reading.
But the table is near silent as the three of you eat. That is until Mabel speaks up with a mouthful of pancake. Should I do it like I have food in my mouth?
Oh yeah, put food in your mouth.
Or
Rosie.
eat your hand. Eat your hand.
So, irregular Celia! In a totally made up and not real situation, you had to pick who your favorite was. Stan or Grunkle Ford? Sounded more like she's a lisp.
Well, she does have a lisp.
This seems too planned compared to her other cutesy questions. Dipper elbows his sister not so subtly, and she elbows him right back. Wide eyes staring at him in a sibling-linked look you can't decipher. Like, say you're in a movie. Like one of these weird movies Grunkle Stan watches on TV with the ladies in poopy dresses riding horses.
Agnia says, Grunkle Ford?
Awfully specific, but you let her continue, taking another bite of your food. You're the main character of this movie, and you've got two guys who are both madly in love with you. I probably choke on my food there. This one doesn't mess around with getting right to the point, huh?
She practically shattered the fourth wall.
But you could only marry one of them so you could be the next in line for the throne. What would you do? If Grunkle Stan and Grunkle Ford were your choices, who would you go with?
Mabel, that's kind of weird, isn't it? Like, really weird and kind of gross?
Come on, Dipper. This is important information that's vital to my research.
There's links to get the game in the description. Just click them.
What research?
None of your business. Yet. But I'm still gathering other research. Mabel leans towards Dipper's ear to whisper, waggling her brow at you before she replies, in not a whisper, but quite the opposite. A research into how you're a huge nerd.
No, you have to scream it. It said the opposite of a whisper.
Research into how you're a huge nerd! And with that, Mabel catapults the spoonful of melted butter from atop her pancakes onto Dipper's cheek with a very satisfying splat. Dipper jerks in disgust but retaliates by smearing strawberry syrup onto Mabel's nose, a drop of stickiness plopping onto her sweater. Ew, gross!
You're gross.
There is no vitriol between the twins, but lots of giggles and a few more various food missiles. Eventually, syrup streaks Mabel's cheekbones and some of her hair, and Dipper has a small piece of pancake stuck to his face. You guys are dorks. Maybe you're right, but we're twins, so it's adorable.
If you say so, Mabel.
Wait, quick, regular Celia! Take a picture of us while Dipper's got pancake on his face!
I have what?
He swipes quickly at his face and, after several passes, gets it off. Aw, I was trying to get more candid pictures of us. Mabel, you have syrup everywhere. Really? Ugh, then it would have been a perfect photo!
Oh, thank you, Issa. I voiced Dipper in a lot of the Real-Time Fandubs if you want to check those out.
Here, let me get it. Your hands are sticky enough.
Agnya asked why you're a regular. Cause, the default name is regular name. And I was like, that doesn't describe you, Celia.
Thank you, I guess. You get back up with a napkin in hand and try to wipe some of the syrup off Mabel's cheeks. The excess syrup swipes off easily, but a good portion doesn't budge. I mean, maple syrup as makeup is the next new look.
Brian.
Oh, look!
That's one word for it, kid.
We wondered where you went once we came back to a suspiciously quiet house. If it weren't for Dipper's note, we would have been worried.
Sixer would have been worried. I tried to tell him you kids are into this kind of stuff all the time. Heading out unannounced, putting stress on your poor old uncle's heart. Trying to kill me.
He puts a hand over his heart dramatically.
Lacey. Lacey says irregular Celia needs more fiber in her diet.
All those missing hours of unpaid child labor.
Actually, that note wasn't me. Well, I wrote it, but irregular Celia's the one who said we should, so you'd know where we went.
Both Ford and Stan turn to look at you, surprised.
That's very, very surprised.
Yeah, why are they so surprised?
Really? Figured these two knuckleheads dragged you here.
Why not make breakfast at home? This place is at least a 15-minute walk from the shack.
Well... You glance at Dipper, swiping his finger across Mabel's cheek and licking the blueberry syrup off Mabel.
Oh.
Mabel has a pancake in her mouth, chewing on it like a grazing sheep. I wanted to treat them to something, I guess. It's the least I can do. You're letting me stay and you're fixing my car. I thought since you were gone, I'd take these two out for a change.
Also, Mabel was gonna make Mabel cakes again.
You're just mad you can't even make toast right.
Bye, Eliana! Yes, I can! I burned it one time! One time!
Dipper holds his syrup-tipped finger in the air, indignant. Well, Mabel wanted you guys to enjoy her Mabel cakes too, and since there wasn't much food, I figured I'd take them out. Stan snatches the pancake from Mabel's mouth and takes a bite out of it, cackling when she stands on the seat to try and grab it back, climbing over Dipper to reach. You catch Ford's eye. Was he staring at you? As soon as he realizes, he quickly sets his gaze elsewhere, looking over your head and out the window. You'd say he probably just shifted his attention, but his finger hooks under the high neck of his sweater and tugs at it.
Well, irregular Celia, I really appreciate you looking after Dipper and Mabel for us. It was very kind of you to bring them here. Look at Ford!
I'm looking.
That did not work as intended.
Oh, it wasn't a big deal. Really, I'm happy to help. You smile at him, pretending you don't feel how warm your face is. Maybe it's just hot in Greasy's. Ford looks close to the shade of his sweater.
Hey, are you wearing your Ford sweater today?
It is a Ford t-shirt, and yes.
What does it say? Do you have a webcam on here? Can we see it?
No,
No? Okay. So
I'm not fit for public consumption? I don't know.
I disagree, but it's just for you then. I get it. It's a private Ford.
Yeah, it says, genius at work, and, he's got a cup of coffee that says I Heart Portals, and it was made by Scalia, who might have also done a comic for me.
Alright, keep reading.
Dipper mumbles and ow, and you reach catch Mabel elbowing his side, waggling her brows at him. You're not sure why.
Well, kid, if you're paying, scoot over, Dipper. I want breakfast too.
Stanley, it's at least 12:30 now.
Uncle Ford, that means it's time for brunch, duh.
See, this kid gets me. Let me get some of that grub.
Did...
See, Dan gets it. He gets it.
That's not
Okay,
an
fine,
intentional
let me change it.
reference, is it,
let me
guys?
change it. Okay, let me fix that. Now let me get some of that food disc.
Excuse me? It's called a munch round.
No, Poindexter. The proper term is food disc.
Dipper moves to your side of the booth as Stan sits next to Mabel, and Ford sits at Dipper's side. Lazy Susan comes back and takes orders for another round of food and drinks for everyone, including Mabel, who decided she wanted more pancakes.
What is a pancake? Oh, you mean a munch round?
Oh, for fuck's sake.
You're starting to regret offering to pay, but as Stan and Mabel try their hand at the syrup drip race with Dipper cheering them on, Ford watching with a wide grin on his face, you know you don't really mind that much. After the expedition to find Mothman, you accompanied Ford on a few other missions, so to speak, examining various birds of the forest, including the... Shut up! Including the questionable stomach-faced duck, who snatched your sandwich and quickly ran off, Ford in hot pursuit. While he didn't find what evidence he needed, something to do with their digestive systems, you both decide that the stomach-faced duck flock were questionable. Not as questionable as the question quail, which he shows you from a scanned journal page, but still questionable. You ask why he decided the hoctopus was too stupid to study, but you received a loud groan and too sticky as an answer. Valid point. All in all, your adventures with Ford have been more enjoyable than you'd expected. And you can't help but hope that you'll get experience one with him soon. You walk through the living room, lost in thought about question quails and Ford's journal pages, and narrowly avoid slipping on a sheet of graph paper.
Don't look! This isn't a Stancest game. It's about a new character who's you, the player, getting to date either Stan, not about the Stans dating each other. Oh, it's you.
Dipper peers out over a book that proclaims DD and more D, officially licensed campaign journal. He's sitting on the yellow armchair with crisscross legs, barricaded in with books and papers. He's got a lap of multicolored dice and half a dozen chewed pencils strewn across the floor, and one in his mouth. You look down and notice the floor is almost entirely covered in graph paper.
Hi? Did you need something? I know it's kind of messy. I should probably clean that up.
Dipper looks reluctant to extract himself from his self-constructed fantasy lore prison. Fantasy lore prison. Here, I can do it. You look busy. You're about halfway through cleaning the floor before you actually start looking at what's on the various sheets you're holding. A fantasy map, some floor plans, and countless scribbled notes and calculations in the margins. What are these for? Planning something? Dipper's re-immersed in his planning. He startles a little when you ask.
Oh, right, yeah, it's, no big deal. It's just this great pen and paper role-playing game called Dungeons, and More Dungeons, D&D and More D for short. It's all about fantasy worlds and statistics and swords and, well, it's kind of difficult to explain, but it's super fun! I'm playing it with Grunkle Ford today, so I'm just putting the final touches on my dungeon. He's gonna be so stumped!
Stumped, you say?
Ford comes into the room at that precise moment, drying his hands on his trench coat.
Perfect timing, Dipper. I just managed to get the paint off my hands.
The paint from what?
One of the gnomes came by and decided he'd graffiti the side of the house. Something about his rapper persona.
Eesh.
Yes, I don't think Jay knows.
Alright, which one of you fucks wrote that?
He's going anywhere in the music business. In any event, I see you've been hard at work. Are you
Whoever
ready
wrote
for our
that-
game?
Whoever wrote that, can I hug you?
That was also Rosie. Yes! Oh, and, a regular Celia, I can take those now. Thanks for the help.
Ford looks like he's just noticed you standing there for the first time since he entered the room.
Irregular
Who's
Celia!
this person?
Who are you? I've begun to recreational enjoyment of the memory gun. Glad to see you weren't too shaken up by our adventure yesterday.
You grin and hand Dipper the tall stack of papers, catching a glimpse of the stats for a knock-knock skull. Well, I made it back in one piece, right?
That's the spirit. Though 90% of a piece would have been good too. You know, you never realize how little a difference 10% makes until you lose it.
Uh-huh. So, how was the Mothman?
Shaken up. All in the name of research, though. I've seen it lose a few moths and come back the next week good as new. A process akin to cycling out dead cells. I would say we just expedited that process. No moral issues there. Well, irregular Celia, the game calls and I must answer. Stanley's about if you're looking for him, though, well, if you wanted to join our game, I certainly wouldn't object. I could promise a fun afternoon.
Another player! Yeah, totally! I can give you a pre-made character sheet to start and dice... shoot. Let me put my other set.
Don't worry, I've got an extra set.
Me? I don't even know how to play.
Oh, man, there are so many rules! Where to start? I mean, it's really easy to pick up. It's even, like, kind of popular now. Kind of popular now. Dipper, are you a... are you a fan? Is Dipper team, Critical Role or team Adventure Zone?
You're not sure about committing the whole afternoon to this game with Ford, though Dipper does seem pretty excited about it. But Stan's around too, and you wanted to go check on your car. What car?
Well, think about it, irregular Celia. Dipper, my boy, why don't you and I get things set up in the meantime?
Ford and Dipper launch into fantasy lore talk as they prop up a corkboard against the yellow armchair, pin up various maps and floor plans with important landmarks, and upend their pouches of dice onto the carpet.
I think we should let Brian voice Stan.
But...
You can play this game.
I know, okay. I'll
can do
play
the
by
narration.
myself.
I can do the narration.
I think we're gonna go find Stan.
We'll go find Stan.
I have the perfect voice for the narration.
Oh god. Oh, okay, that's fine. I wasn't expecting anything. No.
Dipper quickly shuffles the extra character sheet in his hand to the bottom of the stack. Ford puts a hand on his shoulder comfortingly.
Looks like it'll be me and you again, my boy. What fantasy epic have you prepared for us?
The mystery shack should only have 4 main sides, but you feel like you've made your rounds past 5 of them before finally seeing your absolute wreck of a car. You swear it looks even worse than it did when you crashed it. Stan stands before it, hands on his hips, and as he looks at the large wooden S that's made its indent on your car's hood. How bad is it?
Can't tell yet. Not till I get this letter off the hood. That S never did stay in place.
Mystery hack, huh?
Don't need to make it personal. Oh, you're reading the sign. I'm fixing that later, alright? Just avert your eyes. Don't look at it. Look at me.
Alright, Celia, what's up?
Well, if there is anything I can do...
Just let people do it themselves.
Guess we should fix it as soon as possible then.
Sounds good to me. Give me a hand here, would ya?
Stan directs you to help him push the wooden S off the car. It stalls a little in its own dent, but with another firm shove, its end meets the ground. Stan gives it another push with a grunt as it tips, falling completely to the ground with a thump. Now that it's free of its burden, Stan lifts up the dented hood of the car to take a look inside. He rubs a hand over his chin in thought, walking over to his toolbox.
Rub.
Grabbing a tool before walking back, still assessing the damage.
Yeah, this is gonna take a while. You got parts that need replacing. Not to mention she's gonna look. She's not gonna look so hot after this. Not unless Ford's got techs squirreled away somewhere that can smooth out those dents.
The more he tells you about the situation, the more this all sinks in. You're really stuck here. Stan spots your worried frown.
Oh shit, hey, irregular Celia, right? Look, I know how this sounds, but with me on the job, you'll be back on the road in no time. Like literally no time.
You think so?
Kid, I know so. I've got a plan to get those replacement parts of yours. Might not be able to clean up all the scruff marks after I'm done, but you'll run. And hey, so maybe you've gotta stay a couple of days. So what? There are worse places you can get stranded. Believe me. In fact, I'd even say the Mystery Shack is the best place to get stranded. We've got all tons of stuff for people just passing through. Merchandise, magic, mystery, and, other M words. Mayhem. You get the idea.
Stan tosses the tool in his hand back into the toolbox, exchanging it for another.
Ginger is a Spice has a request for you, Brian. Please keep adding additional curse words.
Alright.
He works for a while longer in your silence. Metallic clanks and the occasional heavy breath, all of that mixes in with sounds of... You stand by, awkward, uncomfortable, and a little useless. Sounds about right.
Emphasis on uncomfortable.
Can I help with anything?
Know anything about cars?
They have wheels? No.
Oh, fuck!
Don't know much about that either.
I can teach you a thing or two.
Stan straightens, cracks his back, and sets down a tool before leaning carefully to the nearest load-bearing surface. He wipes his forehead, lets his hand fall to his waist, and gives you an assessing look.
How about collages? Tall tales? Improv? Ever heard of a show called Real-Time Fandub?
Yeah, I think I can handle that, but what does that have to do with this?
Nothing. We're
You
just trying to
gesture
make the story pad out.
You gesture at your stranded car, held in limbo between life and death by nothing other than Stan Pine's car expertise and a little luck.
Nothing. I was planning on having you help me. Zeus is around the shack. A favor for a favor. What do you say?
Well, it's more interesting than helping Ford with his pest problem? You accept.
Follow me! Woo! I levitate.
You follow Stan back into the Mystery Shack, passing by the showroom and getting a glimpse of the energetic figure leading a flock of tourists through a veritable sea of obviously fabricated oddities. Say that 5 times fast.
Oh, okay. Starting where?
Obviously fabricated oddities.
Obviously fabricated oddities, obviously fabricated oddities, obviously fabricated oddities, obviously fabricated oddities, obviously fabricated oddities.
Crap.
Alright, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna voice Zeus. Just start me off with the narration.
You hear the words,
And this is the ninth wonder of the world, right here in the Mystery Shack. It's what makes this place world famous, dudes!
Stan notices your pace slowing as you listen and tosses an explanation back for you.
That's Zeus. During operating hours, he's the Mystery Shack one and only Mr. Mystery. I told him he didn't have to keep the shack running while he's on vacation, but the kid's got a passion for the role. You interested in this kind of shit?
I was thinking about going on a tour.
Oh, thank you for the compliments on my Zeus, guys.
Oh yeah, Charlie, just a heads up, it's 9:57.
Yeah, I know. I'm just looking for a good stopping point.
It feels weird now that you're staying at a tourist trap, though. And you were kind of going to poke fun at the exhibits. Harder to do when you have to live around your tour guide. It's fine, really.
Nah, I think I want to give you a tour of the place. You'll get one from the founder himself. You ever hear one of my plugs on the radio?
You weren't really paying attention to the radio during the drive. Just taking in the Oregon scenery.
See the sign pointing this place for over a mile down the road?
Again, you were pretty preoccupied with the Oregon scenery, but you guess you did see some signs with question marks on them. That's some vague advertising.
Just seeing what works. Bumper stickers, huh? Yeah, still got one on Ford. Anyway, follow me, folks. Well, folk, get ready to be amazed.
No!
I think that's a good stopping point.
Alright. So yeah, we'll stop because we don't want to compete with Alex's stream. But we will, however, listen to Celia's self-insert fic. You want to read it for us?
Oh lord. It's really long, guys. It's like 50 pages. Can I just summarize it?
Do you wanna read us the first like paragraph or two and give us a little teasel?
Or the first sentence.
Okay, let me see if I can pull it up and still talk on this.
Are you on mobile?
Yes.
Okay.
Alright, and as I told you, I can pull it up on my Kindle for some reason. Let's see if it'll... Come on. Or maybe I have to... I'm hurrying. Files, there we go. It never had a title, so I just used Cellford or Sealford. Okay, basically, I show up at the Mystery Shack and there's nobody around to watch the kids while Stan goes somewhere and he doesn't trust Ford to do it. So he, or Mabel really meets me and is like, hey, she could do it. And I'm like, I'm not sure. And then she's like, come on, let's do it. I, of course, taken with Mabel, and I go ahead and babysit them. And Ford comes up, and I meet him, and then Mabel's like, ooh, I gotta get them together.
Then you get together, and that's the fan fiction?
And then Weirdmageddon happens.
Oh. Anyway.
Everyone died. The end.
Thank you for coming by. Do you guys want to do this again on Friday? Continue where we left off?
It sounds fun.
All right, Brian?
I want to go.
Possibly.
All right, well, everyone check out Alex Hirsch, the creator of Gravity Falls, is streaming with his girlfriend for charity right now. I just put a link to that. Go there. See you guys. And everyone who worked on this game, please message me. I want to be your friends.